Good evening, friends. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to find me. I'm going to make sure that we're live, and I'm going to pull up your comments so that I can play along and see what you're saying as we go. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple minutes to get logged in. Hey, Tracy, good to see you. Yay! So I can see that you guys are finding me okay, which is cool. It's been a little bit of a crazy day. I moved my live this morning from 3 o'clock earlier so that we could surprise my girl at school. I picked her up when she got out, and we took her to Outback for dinner as kind of a surprise. She was supposed to come home on the bus. She would have gotten here about 4. And then would have been back out the door for her robotics club at 5:30. And that's not a way to spend your birthday, right? So just before I went live, I realized that my adhesive needs to be changed. So while we're getting started and waiting for everybody to jump on, I'm just going to change that out. Only when you go live, right? Do these things happen? But it's good to be able to change them. So I got a new Sale Plus coming out of the bag. So, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I hope that you have an awesome holiday. And I hope that you're filled with turkey and joy and you get a good nap, because that's what I would like. Speaking of naps, I'll take a sip of coffee. Now I see Debbie, I have my North Carolina mug tonight, but Debbie Bacon, she bought me a Florida mug, and I was emptying the dishwasher really fast and it got chipped, and then she brought me another one to retreat and gave me a gift. I'm used to being the one that gives gifts, and that time I got a gift, which was really cool. Speaking of, I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, I announced all 3 of my 2023 retreats. One is going to be in the spring in Kennebunk. I talked to them today. They are so kind. They're just such a great venue to work with. They take care of us. And then in the summer, we do another retreat there, but there's no food. So in April, when it's a little chilly in Maine, you don't have to leave. You get there, breakfast is included, your meals are included. So it's a little more expensive, but they provide all the food, and it's always homemade and yummy. And then in June, when it's nice and warm out, there's no food at all included, so we go out. Couple of the girls found this place up the street that has drink names that are really funny. And they like to go there in the middle of the afternoon, but that's what you do when you're on vacation, right? And then in the fall of next year, I announced a stamping cruise, and there's only, I think, 8 spots left as of tonight when I looked. But it's kind of funny because when you guys book, I don't get the information real time. My travel agent gets to put it in a document so I see it later on and at least know who's coming. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Well, I chatted for long enough. We're going to make some gift cards. I'm pretty excited. So if you are lucky enough to get one of these, this is my new favorite sticker. The Happy Mail has arrived, because I think everybody should have one, don't you? So I like putting packets together, and I love even more when I can just do something as simple as like a little sticker, but you can feel the love when you open it, right? All right, so I'm going to flip the camera and we will get started. Hey, Vicki, I'm so glad I can see your comments now. When you go live or when you are out of refills. Oh, yeah. Oh, good point. I should order refills, Tracy. That's a good point, because I have gone through about 4 of these this week. I made over 100 Christmas cards on Saturday. It was like a marathon, and I'm just going to keep going until, I guess, Christmas comes and I run out of, postage. All right, I'm going to flip the camera. Let's get moving here. I'm just going to put my hand over the camera so I don't make anybody dizzy. And we will come in and start playing. All right, I'm gonna move the table just to make it easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. Okay. So, up in the description of the video, I should have pasted a description, but now it's not there. So if for some reason you're not seeing the host code, I did a separate post. That makes me crazy. Oh, no, it's there. Okay. So up in the description, there is a host code, and it lets you know that with a $30 order, you get a packet mailed to your door with the 4 projects prepped just like this. So they all look the same. If you spend $50, and you have to use the host code because I only get so many host code calls a month, I'll use that host code to get you some iridescent rhinestones, and I will send them out in your package. So the link to shop with the host code is posted to the top of this video, and the complete supply list of everything I used with item numbers and prices is also on this private group, and it will stay up until we announce another online workshop. Okay. These are great. I had so much fun designing these. We'll start with this one. This is a present. When Alexis was younger and she first went to Santa Claus, and we were at the mall, and she's sitting on Santa Claus's lap, and he said, "And what would you like for Christmas?" I thought he was going to eat her alive when he said, "I would like a present." Most kids are like, "I want the Ultra Jumbotron 3050 XL, you know." But no, my kid's like, "I just want a present." And let's face it, it's all in how you wrap it, right? So if you're going to give gift cards, it feels, you know, humanly a little bit less personal, but that's really what kids want nowadays, because they want to be able to buy things that they need, right? So this gift card holder just slides open like this. It's such a cool little pocket. So that's our first project, and I'm going to open the kit. So this time, so that the kits wouldn't get crammed or bulky, I took all of the ribbon and the embellishments for all the cards and put them on the top. So we're just going to put those up out of the way. But as we need the ribbon and the bows, we're going to pull from that. By the way, huge shout out to my new helper, Sandy Garcia, who tied all of these bows already. She tied, close to 100 bows, so now she'll never forget. Just saying. So I'm going to take out just to the top of the blue. So I should be looking at a white paper, and there's just blue there. And this bottom piece measures 4 3/4 by 5. And I have it scored up the middle. And I don't know if you're like me, but I like to do all my stamping first. And actually, the white paper is going to bother me. So I'm going to leave that there because I want you to be able to see what we're doing. So this stamp set has a couple of different things. So this particular card, I chose to make it a birthday card because I happen to need a bunch of birthday cards right now. But you could easily make it Merry Christmas, and instead of stamping the XOXO, you can stamp the Be Jolly on the same piece. So no matter what you need, you can recreate this. Now, as time goes on and summer comes, we might get some paper with, you know, surf and sand. I can make another card that does the same thing with the same measurements and have a present card in any theme. So consider that when you're getting the PDF for this, you could use the paper and the stamps that you have and redesign it to be anything that you want. Okay, so to get this going, I knew that you guys needed some die cuts if you don't own the bundle. If you do own the bundle, you won't need me to cut your stuff, and you could take an extra piece of white, stamp it, and then die cut it out. I like to use a Post-it note when I'm doing that. Hey, Laurie. So here we go. Up and see what happened. I'm inking up, and it only inked up half my mitten. So one reason that I like sometimes inking up this way is to see that I got it all. But the other reason is I like to send out packets, and you don't need to have the die cuts in order to assemble these. But you do need to not be worried about where the die cut's gonna go. So you have to kind of own it and stamp it down and not worry. So I'm gonna just drop it on there. And once it's there, you need something that's gonna smooth the ink onto the other side. So I'm gonna do that with a second block. And this is just a D block. And I'm gonna do that a couple of times because I have to stamp my XOXO next. But it came off nice and clean and right in the middle, because when I dropped it, I wasn't worried about putting it on from an angle or from one side. I put my fingers around both sides of the stamp and dropped it on. So this is on there crooked. I like my stamp straight. Bit of my OCD popping out there. It happens. Okay. So here we go, XOXO. And look, I got the edges, but it's not gonna matter. I'm gonna take this and use my fingers and drop it on. And once I get it on there, I'm gonna do like I did with the other one and then smooth it with the D block. And really for that, it's about owning it. Just kind of get it on there and dropping it in the middle and not worrying about it. Now, if you do mess up, you can always stamp on a separate piece of paper and fussy cut, because these aren't too bad to fussy cut. In fact, earlier today, I made some cards with this and I did fussy cut live because I dropped my die cut somewhere. I think it's still under the table, actually. So there's my 2 stamped pieces for that. And we did make this a happy birthday. So let's get that on there and we'll get all our stamping done for this first project. And again, when I ink up, I'm gonna roll it over to make sure that I like the way that the ink looks on the stamped, on the red rubber. And then I'm gonna commit to putting it on my paper. I have a better chance of making sure that it's got all the ink it needs. This is getting dry again. I just inked it up. Welcome to the winter. Winter in New England, kids. It is drier than dry. So I'm gonna, ooh, it's flying out of there because it's new. And we'll just attach the 2 tags together like that. Okay, so we got all our stamped pieces. We got what we need for the pullout. Here it is, da da da. Okay. And then we have 2 pieces of designer paper. So let's go bottoms up. We'll do the bottom half first. This was my 3 3/4 by 5. It's scored down the middle at 2.5. And for this one, I need tear and tape. And what do you know? My tear and tape is not in my adhesive bin, which is usually right on the table. So I wonder what I did. I'll just have to grab one. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't even have another one open. Well, because you don't open tear and tape every day. Forgive me, I gotta go to the adhesive bin. I wonder where it is. It was just up, I found it. Good. It was behind my computer monitor. Figures. Okay, it's because it's a round container. So for this one, I want the gift card to be able to sit in here, so I'm gonna run a thin line of tear and tape down the edges of that 2.5 inch side on both sides. So you just lay it down as close to the side as you can without going over, and go ahead and tear it off. Okay. So while you're waiting for me to make my stuff here, how about if you share with me your favorite Thanksgiving traditions? I like Thanksgiving because there's no presents involved. Kind of takes I'm making present out of this, but it's funny because I kind of prefer just getting together and giving thanks. But I'd say my biggest tradition with my family is the making stuffing. All right, so I don't know if you guys saw that, but I used to really detest tear and tape. And this little tip of just sliding it under the middle and flicking it out to get the edges off, tear and tape and I are back together. I wouldn't use it for the longest time. Okay, so I made a pocket, and now my gift card will be able to slide in there. But stuffing, oh my gosh, I make it with sausage and hamburger. And I know if my husband's in the other room listening to me, he's like, stuffing, you should make your stuffing. Because my family and I, for the first time, we're going to meet halfway in the middle and go out to dinner. So we're supposed to go to a steakhouse. Chris? I've never been. Boy, I could have stuck that on straighter, but that's okay. This is just so you get the idea, right? So you're going to attach the designer paper to one side, and then you're going to lay either tear and tape or Seal Plus down the sides of both of the sides of this. Okay. Whatever side I put the designer paper on is going to be the front. And then I'm going to try and get this sort of in the middle between both ends, like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I like it sort of in the middle. So then when I close it down, it's going to be closed down, and that's my present top. And it will slide into the bottom like that. And when it hangs over, it looks like a present, right? So cool. One of my favorite gift card holders. And then this piece is just going to make the cross section where the ribbon would, it's faux ribbon. How's that? And it looks like it's hanging over a little. If that happens to you, all you have to do is flip it over and give it a little trim. Kind of cleans it up a little. Okay, so then I took a dimensional, and I only put one right here because we don't want to seal our pocket closed, but we want it to decorate it. So here we go. There's my pocket. And it's only attached up top, so it's going to come off with that, which is so cool. My XOXO, I'm going to use liquid glue. You could probably also use the tear and tape if you want, but this will be quick. And I will slide that on the bottom half of this pocket. So again, it's not interfering with any of the opening or closing mechanisms, but it's still going to overlap and layer, which is pretty cool. Finally, I'm going to attach Sandy's bow. I'm so excited to have somebody that will tie bows, because I tie bows for you guys all the time, but it was fun to put these together and say, okay, you don't know how to use the bow maker? Here, tie 100. She won't forget now. Let's see. Okay. Oh, it's so pretty. And then you can give it a trim. I mean, it's nice to have a little extra so that you can clean it up when you're all done. I like to, because it's nothing like a fresh haircut. There you go. Finally, you got a whole strip of these. So for the ordering special, instead of getting just a strip of them, if you're spending more than $50 on the host code in your packet, I will use the host code to get you a whole package of those. Thanks, Carol. Oh, so no Thanksgiving stories? Anybody have a cool tradition you want to share? Or are we saving all the traditions for Christmas? I'm watching. I'm going to use this side to pick it up. I've been having trouble with my my adhesive all day out here, and I think it's to do with the cold. It's a little chilly in New England. So, all right, so that's project number 1, start to finish, and we got the pocket and the slider, and the gift card will just sit in there. And you can write on the back of this. You can write, wherever you. But I would say I'd write right there. I love a card where all I have to say is love, Selene. Because I'll make cards for you all day long, and then I'll get there and I'll run out of words. So funny. All right. So here's the second project. We're going to go down just again to the Bermuda Bay piece. This is what I call a tree hugger. So when you're all done making this card or a gift card holder, you could hang it on the tree. In fact, When I did my stamping, I purposely put the Christmas tree off to the side and the Merry Christmas down below so that you could have room to write someone's name on it and hang it on the tree. Wicked cool. So let's take a look. First thing I did was I cut this down to 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, and then I turned it into a square. So I cut the rest of it off. So these two pieces really came off the same piece in your pack. And all you have to do now is attach the smaller piece to the smaller flap. And then the square goes up here. The original one that I designed, I punched a hole in the top through all the layers to hang it going the other way, but then I decided that I was going to go this way. Okay, so here's our tag. In the dies, this comes as like a double tag that folds in half. So when I made up the packets, I was able to cut half the amount, and then we just cut them in half. So you got half of a tag there. And on this one, I went for the Merry Christmas because it's got the trees. But again, like all of these designs can be changed up. My mom's birthday is January 3rd. And so I want to celebrate her birthday too. Like, can you imagine having a birthday right around Christmas? Like people, probably anybody who's online with us, you kind of get gypped out of a birthday gift maybe sometimes. Although my daughter's getting a combined gift. Her birthday's today, and she's getting a combined birthday Christmas gift, but it's a wee bit bigger than a normal gift. So we're going to get her a computer for college. So I can't believe it's coming. So this is super easy. I'm just fussy cutting a tree out of that designer paper, and that is also ready to go in your packet. We made sure that every person had at least one full tree that they could cut and put up on a dimensional. And it's all straight lines, so it's quick and easy. But a cute design. And I want to cut a dimensional because this is a little bit small. So I'm going to cut off the edge. Here's a tip. Always cut first and then pull it off. I've seen people like peel the top off and then cut, but that makes your scissors sticky. So I try to cut first. Okay, so here we go. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. All of that. I love how interchangeable this set is, though. It covers Christmas, birthday. It's even got balloons, celebrate you, and then it also does Valentine's. If you are a part of my email list, and I can put the link up here after the live, I'm in the process of doing 12 weeks of Christmas. Well, Celebrate with Tags is week 12 with something that looks very much like Valentine's Day. So I think we're on week 9, but I have those all set up to roll for you. You're a late December birthday. Yeah, so Debbie, you probably get the short end of the stick, huh? I gotcha. All right, so let's see if I can get him to go this time. Yeah, that's better. So I'm going to put a little ornament on the top of my tree, and I'm also going to put one on the dot, the I in Christmas. So who loves stovetop stuffing? Because if you love stovetop stuffing, you would probably hate my meat stuffing. It has sausage and it's so good. My family would just eat that if I just made that, I'm sure. Brian and Alexis both love it. Okay, so that's the inside, and you have two choices here. You can leave this the way it is, or you can seal up the sides right on the edge again, so that when you have your gift card, it can sit in the pocket. just make sure that you don't get too close to the edge like I did. It's all good. That's why they make adhesive removers. We're good. All right. But like sometimes I like it to be open until I'm ready to put the gift card in. Something else. So this one, it already has it tied on. I'll be able to sort of just kind of bend this a little bit, and you can slide this on and off without having to retie your knot. So you can open and close it, and you can see that I didn't seal this one because I'd like the chance to write on it first. But that's just me. So now let me show you the deal with the ribbon and the way I found the easiest to get it on there. We got our tag all made, and here's a little trick. So I'm gonna cut here, and then I'm gonna make a little tab. So here's our little pointy Christmas trees, and that's gonna make it super easy to thread through both sides of that ribbon, and then you just push down. You can make a knot or a bow. I gave you about 18 inches of ribbon. So whatever you're feeling at the moment, it should be okay. So that one, we did a knot. This one, a bow, whatever you're feeling. You can just tie it twice if you prefer not to tie bows, and it's gonna look just as pretty. But I do the loop, swoop, and pull. For those of you that do bunny ears, you can do that as well. There's no bow rules. If you can get the bow to look nice, that's all that matters. And nobody ties a good bow out of the gate. You tie it, and then you got to get your fingers in it and adjust it and move it around. And then when you're all happy, then you can trim the edges. And I don't have to worry about tying this bow again because it slides on and off. So that is the second gift card holder. Oh, and thank you so much. Stuffing is my favorite too, especially the meat stuffing. So my mom came up with the recipe. It's you know, the Pepperidge Farm, they have a mix. So we start with that and some bread, but then we cook up some sausage and some ground pork and get everything all happy. Chicken broth to make it all happy, and then you let it marinate for a day or so. Actually, I like to freeze it and then have it a month later because it's even better when all of the ingredients jive together. Oh my gosh. I'm not a creative person. So this one is pretty cool. My team member, Cheryl, comes up with a mystery card challenge every month for our team meeting. So we swapped this month. So this was the mystery card challenge from 2 months ago. And then I loved it so much, we used it as the swap theme. And I kept getting cards that sort of looked like this. And actually, this one isn't even the original. In the PDF, I have the original. There was, my gnome was up a little bit higher, so I moved the Celebrate You down here, and the bow was going off to the side. So your card will probably be dictated by where your gnomes are. So, oh look, I have a really cute gnome right here, so I'll probably move it back down for this one, which is good to be able to show. But anyway, I've been looking at this layout, and it's basically just a card front, and you cut 2 inches off, right? Well, I thought, what if that designer paper piece behind it was a gift card holder? And that's what made me come up with this idea. Oh, Pepperidge Farm cubes. Yeah, no, they do. They make a difference. And there is something that my mom puts in hers that nobody else does. And I swear it's like a dash of love, you know, when they say in recipes, you know, oh, it's just a little dash of love. She puts a dash of curry powder in, and she says that that makes all the difference in the world. Not a lot, just like one little shake in the top. But I guess with all the sausage and hamburger, it's not going to matter because I don't know that you actually, but she says that that's the money. So, and if mom says so, that's all that matters. For the gift card piece, I just put adhesive on the 3 sides of this, and I'm going to sit it straight down on top. So this is flush mount. There's no extra room. And the gift card will just slide in this little pocket when the card's done. Okay. Again, that's what the inside looks like. So we can actually stick that down inside our card. This one's really easy, but it's just, I used a double oval punch. But if you don't have the double oval punch, you could use the dies, you know, cut a circle instead and just discard it and use the decorative edge. I did the oval punch because they're fast. And this time of year, anything fast is good, in my opinion. Okay, so again, you could put a Merry Christmas on this, but I went a different way again. This one is Let's Celebrate You. So, you know, later in the year, you could still be using this stamp when it comes time for graduations. I said the word. Ah, I'm crooked. I'm going again. Yeah, I'm not doing it. See what happens when I get sentimental? I like that better. Oh, goodness. Homemade stuffing. Num, num, num. Oh, yeah. Ground pork and sausage. That's it. 100% Laurie. Ugh. Yum. And it just so happens that every vegetable that I don't like is orange. I'm not a fan of pumpkin pie. I don't know if it's the consistency. I do like turnip and carrots mashed together, but I don't care for squash or the sweet stuff that goes on top of the squash. And my family loves it, but I can't even, well, some of it is that I can't have it. Like, I have to pick my battles when it comes to dessert. I look at the table and I choose which one thing I want to take a bite of, or sometimes two, but I have to be careful. I don't want my day to be over because I had too much sugar. All right, so where do you think we should put this? Should we put it up top? Should we put it down? I think I want it there. I don't know. Should we have like, because either way, we're going to have two. It's like, it's a kind of a cool spot. Maybe we'll put it down here and then we'll get all three. Let's do that. So before we do that, I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to put adhesive only on this side. If I put it on the right, I'll stick my card together and it will be closed forevermore. So just on that side. But I love this layout. It's simple enough that you could reproduce it in multiples. And this just came out of designer paper. So it's the Gnomes designer paper. Wicked cute. And I will be posting more samples with this designer paper. I was playing with this today live. Someone asked me about my cards over the weekend and how I did the cuts. So I showed that. And I showed a few Stamparatus tips on today's video just because to answer questions. Now when I go that way with the bow, I'm covering both of those guys. That's crazy. I think I'm going to stick it over here because. But that's the thing. When you're making this one, you can change it up depending on which pattern you got. And I just had the glue dots right here. All right, well. My glue dots are MIA. I'm sure I'll come across them and then we'll stick the bow on and you can add a couple of bling from your sheet. So you'll get bling either way, but you get the full pack with the extra purchase because I'll be able to do that with the host code. All right, so I'm gonna put that off to the side. That's funny. There's another one. So you can, you know, whatever way your paper dictates. It's probably right in front of me. There's my tear and tape. I'm going to put it back where it goes because, you know, if I don't. Okay, the last one. Crazy girl. Who shouldn't have coffee at 6 o'clock? Me. But I have to say it is pretty delicious. Ooh, cranberry raisin pie. That sounds delicious, Brenda. It sounds like it wouldn't be too sweet either. Like you get the tart, like almost like strawberry rhubarb. Oh, yeah, and I'm a fan. Like blueberry pie, I can do that, but I have to be careful with the ice cream because that sometimes sends me, like if I do sugar, I'm okay. But if I do sugar with cream, game over. Hear that little video game over in my head. Okay. So this I'm stamping right on the designer paper, and actually I should show you what we're going for here. I'll have to get up and get the stapler here in a second, but this is a matchbook. And a matchbook card is simply just like a matchbook that you would get a pack of matches in, right? It opens like this, and you tuck it under the bottom flap to close it and open it. And it's just a staple on either side to get the mechanism to close. It's super simple, easy to recreate. This paper is cut 4 by 4, so you get 9 out of a sheet of designer paper. Again, super easy to recreate. So these designs you could use over and over again. In fact, this one and the present I've done before in a different style. And I just love bringing back stuff that works. This one is very, very cool. The first time I did the present one, it was with gingerbread. And the first time I did this matchbook, it was with snowflakes, but it works. Maybe I'll have to do it for birthday coming up. But they're easy to do, and you can create them and recreate them over and over again. So I am just stamping these hearts. And if you wanted to, you could even stamp a few on the inside of your matchbook holder. So like when the recipient opens the card, you could have some floating hearts up here maybe. I'm rocking a little. Be careful not to catch that edge. Whoop. Cool. And if you noticed, it didn't stamp too great because I'm stamping on cardstock. Well, when that happens, Wink Estella to the rescue. You can just fix it, and nobody will know that they weren't intended to be sparkly hearts anyway. And it is less that I will have to write because I can write on the piece down here. Love, Selene. That'll be that, right? It's so funny. Anybody else have trouble writing on the inside of cards? We actually have a book, and you know, what to say when you don't know what to say, like what to write on the inside of a card. So sometimes, like, I'll say, hey, do you want to fill this out? And he's like, I don't know what it needs to say. And I'm like, oh boy, we better get the book. You know, you look up different things that, you know, events in people's lives, and it's all there in the book. They have them on Amazon, I think. I'll have to look, Debbie, and see if I can get AVISBN, because it's really helpful, because I never know what to say. Or I write it out and I get halfway through, and then instead of writing like a B, I throw a P in there or something. It's like, what was I thinking? You don't spell blueberry with a P. I go too fast. Ugh. And that is so crooked. Hang on. See if I can save it. Too funny. Ta-da! Look at that. Thank you, spatula. All right, this time I'm going to pay attention. Squirrel. Oh, you have the book? Carol, if you snap a picture and reply to Debbie, that would be awesome, because everybody needs one of those. If you happen to have it right there. All right, so I am putting the staples in, and the trick to this is the staples have to be really a lot towards the bottom and right on the edge. So I'm gonna line it up. And can I just say, not all staplers are created alike. This bad boy is my favorite. It goes through a whole bunch of paper, and it's made by Staples. And I have to say, it's the best one I've found. Never gets jammed. All right, so here we go. This just matchbook sits underneath there. Then I did a strip of this designer paper to kind of tie the bottom to the top. My glue's acting funny. Glue goobers, they happen. All right, so, ta-da. Anybody have any questions for me about any of the projects? I'm getting towards the end. So this, again, the Made with Love, it's pretty. I like it, but it's stamped kind of weird. So I'm going to use my wink of magic here. Doo-doo-doo. And you can't even tell. It'll be sparkly to whoever gets it, but they won't realize, unless, of course, I send this one to you, they won't realize that it wasn't intended to be sparkly, because I put sparkles on the inside too, right? Now it's all cohesive and all fixed, right? Okay, so this came out of the dies as well. It comes with two big long dies, like pocket dies, and I just love the heart with the sentiment here, so I put this on the bottom, but it doesn't, you know, you could tuck it in, you could wait and put it on the inside and stick it to the gift card holder, like with a glue dot. Words to the Rescue by Steve Fatty. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Carol. Thanks for sharing. Need a good words book. All right, so I'm just gonna sprinkle a few of these on. There's no rhyme or reason, and you know, it doesn't have to feel, just a few. And it gives it some sparkle and some shine. And it goes really good with that Wink of Stella, and that fixed the issue with the stamping. All right. Wow, I feel like I went real fast. We did a whole 4-card class. It's just 45 minutes from start to finish, which means you'll probably be able to assemble them in that amount of time. If you're gonna get these packets, I used Pacific Point and Bermuda Bay for all of the ink, so it's not too crazy, a supply list. And these are the Celebrate with Tags stamp set. Actually, I think I have the dies right here. Oh, well, I have one of the dies. Maybe not. I have one of the dies, but they have a whole set of dies that do double tags, and they're really fun. So, does anyone have any questions for me? I'm going to flip the camera and say goodnight. Otherwise, here we go. Ta-da. Thanks for hanging out with me on my daughter's birthday while she is at robotics. She said, Mom, I'm not going to miss. Last night they elected her, so she is now co-captain of the robotics team. And she's so excited about it. And she loves the electrical, the mechanical engineering, and the application of physics in all of it. And I'm like, I'm going to go make a box or a card. So thank you, everybody, for being here. And if I can answer any questions, let me know. And otherwise, I will see you next Tuesday on our Facebook Live at 3 o'clock. And yeah, thank you, everybody. Good night.